Cloud. And let's see here. Live custom streaming service is on. And preparing to live stream. Where are we at there? Okay. And let me do the broadcast here. Here we go. And let me cut off some cameras here, and I need to get rolling here.
So am I going first?
Jan, I'll have you go first if you don't mind.
Okay, sure.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jim Grant. Welcome to another episode of Messages of Inspiration, Hope, and Support. Brought to you today by SpeakersPathway.com. Let me share my screen with you and share you a little bit about SpeakersPathway.com. We got some nice free things there for you. And at SpeakersPathway.com, let's see. Here, I got the wrong page up there. Excuse me. I'll get this here done real quickly. If I could spell it correctly. I had it open earlier, I apologize. Anyway, speakerspathway.com. This is our homepage here. If you notice, we got some TEDx training up there. You can get Don's free 5-kick-butt TED Talk. You can see the complimentary gifts we have there. Let me click on those right quick. These are from all of our executive training directors. Koji Samaldi offers the video content. He will audit you and give you a true assessment of your video content. Bill Heinrich, he is big on clarity. He's the person where we start at with everyone that comes to Speakers Pathway Coalition. He's real big on, like I say, clarity of the mind. He's got a book called Clarity Has No Story at myfreebook.me. Dr. Sony Jackson gives you a content checklist for converting strangers into clients. Tamara Hunter is a cancer survivor. She has a celebration journal that she created based on her own experience for all cancer sufferers and anyone else that suffers any other life-threatening disease. Dustin Matthews, he is a guy that makes the irresistible offer. He's great at that. He also has a course, How to Get Out of Debt, Boost Your Active Income, and Start Earning a Passive Income. Preston Martelli, he is known as Mr. Google here with us. He will give you a free complimentary brand audit, and he will also send you his 90 action steps to take you to the next level. Now, in that being said, all of our messages of inspiration, hope, and support, you can see them right here on the homepage. If you click on See More, we have the individual presentation of each one of the speakers there. And we've got several pages listed there. And if you just click on one, for example, I'll click on Kim Carpenter there. You can actually see that this is their individual presentation. It's on YouTube because the speakers can use this anywhere they want to. This is their performance, their presentation, and a little write-up on each one of our speakers. So that's what we do at Speakers Pathway Coalition. And our very first speaker today will be Jan Stringer. And Jan, let me turn your camera on and invite you to the show. Let me unmute you as well. Did you get the camera request on there? Did I do that? There she is. Let me give you the spotlight today. And here we go. There we go. Good deal. Jan, you're telling us about a strategic attraction plan to attract your perfect fitting, I like that, perfect fitting customer. That means a person just fits you to a T, your customers, clients, and also stakeholders. Can't wait to hear your message. Let me do two things. Let me mute my mic and cut off my video, and the stage is yours.
Thank you so much. And it's great to be with you today. And I know we're all just finding our way through this new world that we found ourselves in. And what I've been calling my business now is my now business. Because whatever I was thinking about, working on, or planning before the pandemic, it just kind of like evaporated. And so I think that it's a perfect opportunity right now to create newly And so I want to give you a tool today that will help you do that. And it's called my strategic attraction tool. And let me just tell you, an author, and I created a tool that I'll tell you about today. And it's all stemmed from this book that I started or wrote and published in the year 2001. It came out, and it's called Attracting Perfect Customers, The Power of Strategic Synchronicity. And what that really means to me is that when I started working with the strategic attraction plan, that I noticed that some things just out of the blue started to happen. You know, like get invited to speak on an event like this, or a new client, you know, or somebody referred somebody and they called me, or an email came through that I wasn't expecting. And all of that came as a result of me getting clear and focused on what's perfect for me. And that's what I call a strategy. It's the clarity, it's the understanding. And I do things a little differently in that I look inside of myself to see, who do I want to attract? Who do I want to work with? And so that's what the strategic attraction plan is all about, is to getting clear about, first of all, who is that type of relationship? And I think all of our businesses have changed a little bit, maybe some, maybe more than others. And it's time to reevaluate, you know, push that restart button. So whatever you were thinking it was before, I invite you to start today in your now business with this strategic attraction plan. And before I give you that, I will tell you I have one other book, and I'm going to give this as a gift. There'll be a link for you to actually receive this book. It's the second book that I wrote, called Being Attraction: What Love Has to Do with Business and Marketing. And I wrote this book after the first one because after working with thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs all over the world on what was the perfect way to market and sell to the people that they want to attract, the Being Attraction book just seemed like I needed to clarify something. Two things. One, who am I being, and who is, you know, like, who do I really love, and how is the business that I'm creating something that I truly love? And I found that one thing stood out more than all the rest when I was working with those clients. And I wondered about that. Why are some people more finding results and success with my strategic attraction plan than others? And I really found out that what that is, it's about your being. Who are you being? Who am I being? And so that's part of the strategic attraction plan, is to learn to shift our being. And we certainly are all getting a dose of that, aren't we, over the last few months, to shift our sails and be ready to move at a moment's notice. And that's what being is all about. And entrepreneurs are so good at this. So that's a little bit of an introduction. You can find more about me at perfectcustomers.com. You can always write me, Janet@perfectcustomers.com too. So you can find me all over Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. So you can connect with me. So, and I'd love to hear from you. So let's take out just a quick piece of paper, not a quick piece of paper, but any kind of paper. And I like to really old school it, just plain white paper works. But you know what? I've done them on paper this size and it still had great results. So I'm going to share with you my strategic attraction plan, and I'd love to go through the whole plan in depth with you today, but I'm not going to be able to do that. So I'm going to give you enough for you to want to know more, but also enough that if that's all you ever did, it will have made a difference for you. So the strategic attraction plan is a 5-step plan, and it's designed to get your insights, your clarity about who is a perfect fit for you in your business. And so your relationships in business could be a client, a customer, it could be a vendor, it could be an employee, an employer. This plan fits any kind of relationships. But for today, I'm just going to refer to your perfect client or customer. So the first step is one that you might have already taken if you've been creating your online avatar. This might sound familiar. It's to describe, and you can write this down if you'd like, describe the qualities, characteristics, and attributes of my perfect relationship, whatever that is. Let's say it's a customer or client. So let me say that again. Describe the qualities, characteristics, and attributes of my perfect client. So let's just think of a couple of those kind of things. If you were to wave your magic wand, and I didn't bring my wand today, so this will be my magic wand, my pen. If you were to wave your magic wand today and you could bring in and attract any type of customer today, what would they be like? And I tell people, how do you get started, figuring that out? And I tell people that if someone walked in the room or you walked into a room full of people, what would you notice? What would stand out to you as important? Would they be a certain age, or a woman or a man? Would they look a certain way? Would they dress a certain way? Would they have a big smile? I have that on my attraction plan, that they smile and they beam at me from across the room. I have those kind of descriptions. Are they friendly? Are they fun? Do they like family? Why is that important in a business relationship? Well, because people resonate with one another. And so if I'm clear about the things that are important to me, it's going to really be important to the people that I work with too. Another way that you can get in touch with your perfect customer and the description of them is think about somebody you've already worked with that you just adored working with them. Every time you knew they were calling, you were excited, or you were meeting with them, you couldn't wait. What were some of the things you remember about that customer? Oh, well, they took my coaching very seriously. They followed through. They kept their appointments. They paid my invoice early or on time. They could afford my services. Maybe they live in a certain geographic area. Maybe you like to do local marketing and they live in your hometown. Or maybe they're more online presence and you want to connect with them that way. What would be a way that you might like to meet your perfect customer? These are all things for step number one. So step number one, again, is just to describe that certain someone that you would love to work with. All right, I know you can tell I'd like to talk about this, but I'm just gonna give you the next step because there's 4 more after the first one. So there's 5 total steps. And the second one is what I call a deeper dive. And the deeper dive is where you go from just the descriptions, the surfacey kind of things, if you will, to where do they live? Like what's inside of their heart and soul. Now, these are the kind of people I like to resonate with, don't you? Like when you think about the most important and significant relationships in your life, there was that bond, that glue that stuck your relationship together. Well, I call that what makes you tick. And to discover what makes me tick, I think about that one thing that gets me out of bed, doing the same thing over and over. And that's what we do as entrepreneurs. I've been doing this business now for 20 years. This is my 20th. And what was it that got me out of bed every single day and keep going at it again and again? And that's what makes me tick. So I'll share mine with you, and then you can be thinking about yours. And I'd love to work with you about this. I do teach classes so that we can help you to hone this. And what makes me tick is being voice of feminine spirit. And when I really got that, it like put all the disparate pieces of my life together. Why was I always so wanting to be creative? As a younger child especially, I did lots of art projects. I was very intuitive. I was into dance. I was very flowy rather than real constricted and real regimented. These were all the things that were important to me. And what I found is that when I was relating to other people in business, that the voice of feminine spirit was so needed, that people were missing that feminine energy. And then I like to bring that to the table when I'm in a business setting, especially because we all know we have to have structure. I'm not debating that, but we can bring creativity to it. We can bring our imagination. And that's really what the strategic attraction plan is all about. So step number 2 is to identify what makes me tick. Step number 3, specify what I want my perfect customers to expect of me. specify what I want my perfect customers to expect of me. Now that's step number 3. And this is the part of plan where I look inside of myself, and the tip would be that my perfect customers want me to have what I want. So what is that? So if I can have anything I want and my perfect customers want me to have that, what would be the sales? What would be the number of clients I'd work with? What would be the fees they would pay with me? Where would I live? What kind of car would I drive? On and on. How would I dress? What kind of technology would I use? Would I have lots of social media where we'd meet more one-on-one? So step number 3 is all about myself and what I want, because like attracts like. If I want this, my perfect customers want me to have it. And then step number 4 is all about that being thing. And it's a declaration I found, is that step number 4 is to declare, who do I get to be? Who do I get to be to attract everything I say I want? You know, like this morning, I was kind of a mess, truthfully. I was not sure what time I was going to be speaking, and I was trying to put my things together for the day. And I found I needed to shift my being. I'm like, okay, opportunity to get to meet and greet and be with people today through this wonderful, wonderful speaker's pathway. And so I had to shift my being. And that's what step 4 is about, is that any moment we can go from being like pitiful Jan was being this morning, oh, I'm rushed, my hair, blah, blah, blah. You know, what will I say? All those, you know, nagging things that can happen in a morning. I got to shift my being. And I so hope you're getting that I love what I do. And that's about really being what my work is and stepping into it and declaring it and letting people know this is who I am. That's the 4th step. And then the 5th step is not in either one of my books, because I really added it to inspire people to take action. And so step number 5 is to take attractive actions. And what that means to me is that the world is so full of dazzling distractions. And I don't need to define that for any of us. There's so many things going on, especially now. Dazzling distractions can really pull us in a direction that isn't on our path. And so use this simple 5-step process for your own benefit. Use the link that I'm going to send you to step into how you can do a deeper dive for yourself, or contact me and I'll be happy to share with you more tips on how you can take more attractive actions and stop taking dazzling distractions. But I'll give you one last tip on the dazzling distraction thing, is how do I know when I'm being dazzled? Well, sometimes it's super obvious, and sometimes it looks good, but I'm not quite sure if I should take that step or that action. And a dazzling distraction is just that. There's no decision. It's hard to make a decision. It can feel this way or that way and not real clear. But an attractive action is something that when I take it, it's solid. I know this is my next step and I feel good about it. So these are the 5 steps to my how you can attract more loyal raving fans to your business. I find that my fans stick with me for a long time. I'm doing a class right now, as a matter of fact, and I have clients that are coming back, you know, from 2005, 2006. So loyal raving fans is much more of a excitement to work with when they love your work and they love who you are and you love them and who they are. And so that's what our strategic attraction plan is all about. So let me wrap it up this way, is to just kind of give you a summary that a strategic attraction plan is a way to attract a relationship to you, such as a customer or client. And by looking inside of yourself of what's perfect for you, describe them, that's step 1. Describe what they're like, what they look like, what their qualities are. Step 2, take the deeper dive inside of yourself of what makes you tick, because that's going to be the same for you and the people that you love to work with. Step number 3 is getting clarity about what do you want your perfect customers to expect of you. well, I want them to expect me to have fill in the blank. This is all about you. And then it's the being. When I stepped into the being of that I'm an entrepreneur and I own this business and by golly, it's going to happen. And guess what? 20 years later, I'm still here. So then take those attractive actions. And today, an attractive action has been to allow yourself to watch this today and get inspired. And I'm very happy for that. Check out some of the free gifts that we're giving away in the Speaker's Pathway. And thank you for tuning in. I'm very grateful to be with you today.
Wow, thank you so very much. That was a wonderful presentation you gave, and I really enjoy the fact that you mentioned about, how you want to present yourself and attract your like kind of customers, people like you, because you got a lot more in common. That's a good common base to build from.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because people got to know you, people got to like you, people got to trust you. So you got to have a lot in common. I like that very much.
Yeah.
I got a kick out of what you said there earlier about, you got the email from me because Don sent me an email and he says, Jim, I forgot to notify the participants, they're going to be on today. So I just copied the link, sent you, okay, we're going to be on the call today. And then I get calls from you and another lady, hey, what time do we start? And I said, well, about the top of the hour.
Go on with the show. Be ready. I mean, that takes some being shifting to shift in the moment. And we have to all, as entrepreneurs, be ready to make that shift. So
be ready for the unexpected because it's coming. And I remember the second time I was live on the radio, I was still trying to figure out how to spell co-host.
That's great.
We were about 20 seconds from going live.
Yeah.
And we're on a satellite radio. And all of a sudden the host drops off. He lost his communication with us, with the station. And so now we're live. And I started off, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. This is Jim Grant. I'm the co-host. I said, the host, he's still, finishing up a very important project. He'll be here as quick as he can. He's working for the Honeydew Corporation. And she said, if he didn't get that done, he was going to get some thumb therapy. So that's why he's going to be a little late. I just made a joke out of it. Just pulled something out of the top of my hair and just went right on. Because sometimes in the world of speaking and when you're doing webinars and things of this nature, it's very important to be flexible. And
absolutely.
Hey, I got a problem here, but like when I'm doing something with the technical stuff that the producer of the radio show does, I'll hit the wrong button or something like that. That's the way, folks, good help's hard to find.
That's great.
And just laugh about it because learn to laugh at yourself because that way you'll never be bored. At least I'm not.
I love that our world has become more about connection than perfection. Yes. And people like to see the human side of all of us, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, with me, that's not a problem.
Me too.
But
Me too.
Most importantly, would you be so kind as to share your website and your email address and mention your book again, please?
You bet. My website is called www.perfectcustomers.com. Perfectcustomers.com, that's plural. And you can write me at jan@perfectcustomers.com. I read all my own emails, so you can send that directly to me. And my book is on the website, but if you'd like to look it up on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc., or me, I'm all there. This one is the one that got everything going. It's called Attracting Perfect Customers, The Power of Strategic Synchronicity.
That's great.
And if you can say that real fast, you're doing well.
And that being your first book is very special to you.
Yeah.
And Don McGrath, my buddy and partner there at Speaker's Pathway Coalition, he's a co-founder with me. He says, I've written six books. 4 of them are good ones. 2 of them were stinkers. The first 2 were stinkers. And the point being is that, even though he considers them to be stinkers, and he's a very successful author, he's got books translated in foreign languages and things of this nature. And that's when you know that you got a good book and all that. But
yeah, this one has sold over 100,000 copies, and it's translated in numerous languages.
Oh yeah, that's when you know you got a winner.
And this one is the one that I can give you. It's a little different in my publishing. You know, I was able to give away a PDF copy.
Mhm.
So it is available in Kindle if you want to buy it, or online at Amazon.com.
Mhm.
But this is also a beautiful book, and I love gifting people with this one. So
Mhm.
I'll make that available to anybody that likes it.
Sure. I know that Don sometimes tells people, if you're going to be an author and you write a book, it's not a good book, don't worry about it. Your next one will be better. And that's very important, because it's important when you try to do something and you're not perfect, so what?
Yes,
Nobody is perfect.
that's
And when
right.
you make a mistake, just own it, laugh about it. You know, hey, I've goofed up here,
Yeah.
and just drive on. But we're getting ready to bring Susan to the stage, Susan K. Dahl. And Jan, before you go, I just want to simply thank you very, very much for sharing your wonderful message with us today and being a part of the messages of inspiration, hope, and support. We look forward to having you on our website there at speakerspathway.com. Your individual presentation will be there on YouTube, so please use it any way that you would like. And we want to thank you again, and all the folks out there. You're very blessed to have speakers like Jan with us today. And we're going to hear Susan K. Dahl in just a moment. But thank you again. Hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much. Bye for
You're
now.
welcome. Bye-bye. Let me bring Susan to the stage. I got to cut her video on. I got to do all this techie stuff. See, when you're a radio broadcaster like I am, you got a producer there doing all these fancy dancy things. It, then when they try to get me to do it, then I just really goof things up. Let me give you the spotlight there. There we go. Susan K. Dahl, welcome to the show. We are so glad that you joined us today. And you're going to talk to us about something that's very interesting. You're wearing one, as I see, the
Yep.
Smile Challenge.
Mhm.
Finding joy in a flash. That is something we all need more of today. With all the frowns and grumbling and complaining, we need some more smiling. So let me do two things. Let me shut off my video and shut off my mic, and the stage is yours.
Be charming. Well, charming, that's kind of like Prince Charming. What's that word? I mean, be charming. I wanted to be a speaker. I wanted to get up on stage. And all I heard was, just stand and smile. Be charming. And I thought, I don't even know anybody who's charming. Then I realized, yes, I do. My grandson. My grandson is charming. There's no other word for it. He makes me smile every time I look at him, when I hear his voice, when I see a picture of him. So I thought, yeah, but that's kind of not me. But you know what? A smile makes you charming, because people wonder, what are you smiling about? I labeled this talk the Smile Challenge because I believe that nobody smiles enough. They really don't. I went to get my passport picture taken, and I smiled like I always do. And they said, you can't smile. Then it's not me. I smile all the time. There are people who have said, I don't think I've ever seen you not smiling. You're just kind of like a smiley person. But this is where it all began. I have to confess my mess. I don't think people smile enough. But that isn't really where I'm starting from. I'm starting from a place of mess. You know, they say your mess is your message. Well, my confession is that I lack confidence. And people think, right, you've all been on stage, you've been all these different characters. Well, that's true, I have. And part of it was to prove that I had confidence, that I could somehow do it. Then I realized the one way that I built confidence, kind of unknowingly, is through memorization and cakes. Now, go figure, right? I memorized the very first thing at a Bible camp in northern Wisconsin. And what we had to do was, one at a time, tell everyone our favorite Bible verse and why it was our favorite. And I was a good Catholic girl thinking, I don't really I don't even know Bible verses. Well, the second girl to go said, my favorite verse is Philippians 4:4. Rejoice in the Lord always. I say it again, rejoice. And I thought, I can memorize that. Philippian. Yeah, I think that's it. 4:4. Rejoice in the Lord always, to say it again. So I said it to myself. I don't know what anybody else said. But when it was my turn, I said, my favorite verse is rejoice in the Lord always. I say it again, rejoice, because I like to be happy. And that's kind of where it all started. Then I learned there's another verse that said, the joy of the Lord is my strength. And I have become, as the years go by, declaring that I'm a soul of joy. But I have to go back to the smile challenge, and the smile that to me, because of my lack of confidence, because of things I didn't really feel comfortable with, was my downfall. So the word smile, and you can have sad eyes and a fake smile, and people don't know the difference. So my fake smile, my ability to put it on anyway, stood for, I'll spell the word, S-M-I-L-E. Secretly miserable, invisible, lonely, empty. That's what my smile was for a long time. A lot of the time, I was secretly miserable. Now, that doesn't sound like a person like me that's always smiling, but I was secretly miserable, because you can be miserable and still smiling. They might think you're constipated. The invisible part was, here I am, a state champion, standing on top with my trophy in hand. And they said, oh, what school is she from? I don't know, what school is green and white? I was wearing my gym uniform. Our school was orange and black, and nobody knew where I was from, just that I was standing on top of the podium with a trophy in first place. I really felt invisible and lonely. Now, I have 6 sisters and 2 brothers, and yet there we were. You got to be loud and grab fast if you want to be fed. There were so many times in my life where it's like, we're all getting in the car, we're all going here. But honestly, I felt lonely. My best friend was a dog, my dog Boots. And I'd put my head on Boots' shoulder and I'd pick up after Boots. I'd feed Boots. Well, Boots got heartworm and Boots had to be put down. My mom said, we have to put him to sleep. He's sick. And I thought, I don't know. Oh, good. When he wakes up, he'll be better. But honestly, what happened? Lonely. I didn't know, my 9-year-old self, that when you put a dog down, you put him to sleep, they don't come back. And empty, that emptiness, that loneliness, that miserable, invisible feeling. I just learned how to smile anyway and become a cheerleader to give support to other people. And this is where the cakes come in. I prayed that that cake that I'd made for the friend that I worked with, that was 5 tiers high, would stay upright. I became a professional cake decorator, working in bakeries and learning how to do all the stuff. And they said, oh, could you make my wedding cake? Sure, why not? But I didn't have the support pegs in the bottom layer. When I got 2.5 hours away, I realized, I can't put this cake together without support. Well, I found straws, I found some popsicle sticks, I did everything that I could, and I stuck them in there, and then I piled it up. About an hour and a half later, the wedding guests were there, and I was kind of proud of my effort. And someone came up to me, they said, did you make the wedding cake? And I thought she was going to compliment me and tell me how beautiful it was. And I said, yeah. She said, it's starting to tip over. We have to take pictures quick before it. I was so embarrassed. And I found a way. This boils all the way down to the smile challenge that says, you got to smile anyway. You can fix whatever you need, but we all need support. And those support pegs that were lacking in that cake and the support pillars in my life are what I want to really extend to you and challenge you with a little bit of a smile challenge, giving you a little CPR for the soul. That will keep a smile on your face and you'll have joy in a flash. The first C in CPR is cursive. So with me, and I know this sounds crazy and maybe this is very juvenile, I am a teacher after all, is take your dominant finger and then in the air, write your name. Dot the I's, cross the T's. You got it? Wasn't that hard. You probably haven't done it before, but why not? Now take the opposite hand and write your name in cursive, connecting the letters. That wasn't that hard, was it? Now I could have you put that imaginary pen between your toes and have you stand up and write your name. I could have you put it on your head and then have you write your name in cursive, imagining it to be the light of the pen that's drawing. It makes people go, what am I doing? The one that always gets people though, is when I say, all right, put the pen in your belly button and then draw your name. And they're jumping up and down, whatever. I said, I'm gonna record this, you know, this is pretty funny. Watch a classroom full of 6th graders belly writing their name. But honestly, doing a personal thing. Everyone has their own name. You are the only you in the universe. That's the first step of the challenge. Write your name in cursive. Tell your child to do it. Tell your husband to do it. Tell your boss to do it. And then just watch them write their name in the air. It's one way to put a smile on their face, like this is weird. It doesn't matter if it's weird or not. It's possible. The P, I call it put the pen in. Now, I used to be on stage and I've directed plays with kids on stage. And the one way to get them to just kind of relax a little bit, put the pen in. And then act like it's still there and then put this big old fake smile on your face. And then look at the other people and how fake their smile. Some people, you never see their top teeth. But when you put the pen in, and I use my finger because I didn't have a pen handy, well, actually I do. So if you have a pen, you keep the smile and you take the pen out and then you act as if, you know, how goofy is that? Simple thing that you can do to put a smile on your face. Even if it's not natural or normal, it still makes you look better and your face feels better. The R in CPR, besides cursive name and pen in the mouth, is reflect. Remember, what in your life can you remember when you laughed so hard you peed your pants? Now, I literally was a cheerleader, and we did a hello cheer, and everyone said, let's say our mom's name instead of our name. Well, it just so happens that my sister is also a cheerleader, and for some reason, before we did our little H-E-L-L-O, Panthers say, hello, and we'd say our name and greet the other cheerleaders from the opposing team. And we were going up to each other, what's your mom's name? What's your mom's name? And my sister said, what's your mom's name? And for some reason, we both like, duh, we have the same mom. And I just peed my pants. I've never done that before or since, but I will never forget it. Here I am in my little cheerleader uniform, practicing our hello cheer, and talk about embarrassing moments. You know, that's one thing I learned, that I have the gift of going from awkward to amazing just by smiling. You just have to laugh when you have to laugh. So reflect on a time in your life when you were laughing, maybe uncontrollably. Maybe it was bubbles. Maybe it was a parachute. Maybe it was something that a joke you didn't understand, and then all of a sudden it's like, I get it, I get it. So here's the bottom line recipe, all right? Joy in a flash is using not only the CPR for the soul recipe that I just gave you, but the letters that spell the word flash. And if we just did it, I just demonstrated it for you. Focus. The F in flash is focus. What are we focusing on? Everything you focus on magnifies, enlarges, and yet it gets smaller because it's where clarity comes from. What you focus, where focus goes, energy flows. And so if you're focusing on the person you're with, you're doing the right thing at the right time with the right one. Focus. If you want to be happy, if you want to find the good, you most certainly will find it. Abraham Lincoln said that, and so did Pollyanna. Focus begins joy in a flash. Decide what you want to focus on. Do I want to focus on everything I don't have and all the stuff that's going badly? Or do I want to focus on the person I'm with? The L is listen. Now, there's a difference between hearing and listening. When I taught CPR, a lot of people had stories of things that were just horrible for them. And I totally, fully understand that. People that wanted to get certified in CPR because their aunt had a cardiac event right in their living room and they didn't know what to do. And they did the best that they could with what they remembered, but they wanted to recertify just to do it right and to have that assurance, again, that confidence factor. But they were listening for the ambulance, for the sirens approaching. If you just hear sirens in the background, that's one thing. Yeah, I hear sirens. My daughter lives in Boston, and I'm telling you what, between sirens and foreign languages, I hear them every day, all the time. Sirens, when you listen for them, it's because you have a life and death situation and you can't get there fast enough. So what you listen to matters. If you're focused and listening, the A happens naturally. You will ask the right thing. You will ask what they really need. You'll be able to intuitively pull out what it is that they need to tell you. So focusing on the right thing, listening truly from the heart, you will ask the right questions that will help them, whatever way it is. The support pegs in your life, the support that holds the rest of you up, the support that helps other people stay upright, comes from asking them the right question when you listen to their response. The S is smile. I already told you how to do that. Put the pen in, write your name in cursive from various places. You can do it with your elbow too if you want. And the last thing is hug. The hug and flash means embrace who you are, who they are. Put some value on the things you're doing and the people you're with. You can hug them with your whole being. Even though in quarantine, you're not allowed to get within 6 feet of somebody, you can hug with your eyes. I want to end with something that happened to me that puts joy in a flash kind of in perspective. I was in the grocery store and I saw a friend of mine who was just kind of like, not feeling great. I could tell by the look in her eyes. When I focused on her and I listened to what she said, it's been a rough week. I said, you know what I just heard? Prince EA, which a lot of people know, he's got very positive, upbeat messages that are thought-provoking. He had just done a little thing on Row, Row, Row Your Boat, the song, Row, Row, Row Your Boat. He said, you're doing something. You're actively in your own boat, gently down the stream. So you're headed in a direction, but you're doing some of the work to get there. You're rowing gently, not feverishly, not frantically, not angrily, gently down the stream. And then 4 times they had to say, merrily, 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 merrily. That means your attitude is happy one, always joyful. Life is but a dream. It's the vision that we have. All right, so I was sharing this with her and she thought, you know, that really helped. You're right, you're right. I shouldn't be all like resisting everything. I should just kind of go with the flow and realize that if it's to be, it's up to me. And so that helped her. But shortly after I spoke to her, I turned around to get my little items on the list, and this little boy came up to me and he gave me this giant hug, like such a hug I've never had before. And I thought, oh no, he thinks I'm his mom and I'm gonna look down and he's gonna, not at all, not at all. That little boy looked up at me and he said, he just beamed. It was his genuine smile, you know? And he looked at my friend who was looking at me like, you know this kid? He said, are you with her? And I said, yeah, she's with me. He goes, now you both have love. We did. We truly both had love. Joy in a flash. That's when you focus on who you're with and what you're doing and what you want to do. When you listen with your heart, when you ask the question out loud, don't ever forget to smile. and embrace what you're doing. That's how you get joy in a flash. And you can have it any moment of any day with anyone. You can be the support pegs that hold the cake up, that hold society up. And I just want to thank you. I do have a few books and a few things that give support to people. This is a conglomeration book. It's called Shine. And it's probably backwards, I'm not sure, but it's stories to empower. And the story of my grandson is in this. And then the Sex Talk Made Easy, which is Keep Your Virgin from Virgin Too Soon. It's support for parents who want to have a health teacher on how to have that joy in a flash. No matter how awkward, you can be amazing. Thanks for stopping by.
I was clicking on everything there, trying to get everything cut on, and
Okay.
it just wasn't working for me. But I really enjoyed your message. And, you know, Susan, I think there's one thing that you will agree with me. By you coming on this show and sharing your message, you knew two things were going to happen. Number one, you're going to bless a lot of people. And number two, in the process, you too will be blessed.
Mhm.
And
Thank you.
that's extremely important, because I tell people all the time, especially during this day and time, we have a tendency to look at our own scratches when we have an opportunity to look at someone that's got a fractured leg or something. I mean, we get caught up in the process rather than the content of what life is about.
Mm.
And it's easy for us to love life when we're on the receiving end. But if you really want to enjoy life and smile, like Susan's talking about, you need to be on the giving side of life. And because that just, there's something about giving that just you never run out of supply. I mean, you just, the more you give, the more you have to give. And that's been my experience.
I think
And-
generosity never loses its value. I love that expression. Generosity never loses its value.
I love that. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Because, you know,
The
I
giving.
heard you say, and a lot of people have said, including Abraham Lincoln, that people are about as happy as they make up their minds to be.
Yeah.
And I remember one time, and I'm going to tell a little story out of school, not the story, but just this incident.
Okay.
One time I was aggravated about something. This is years ago. And I'm talking about maybe in the 80s or something. And Evelyn's made a comment to me, and I says, just leave me alone, because I was miserable. I said, just leave me alone. Let me enjoy myself.
Yeah.
At the time,
Great.
it seemed like the right thing to say, but
Yeah.
it's, you live and you learn. And, like I tell people, learn to laugh at yourself. And because you're
Mhm.
going to do some dumb things, and you're going to, make some mistakes in life and own them. And just when you do something wrong, just apologize and say, I'm sorry, because everything in my life, I mean, from day one, from when I was growing up all the way on, I mean, everything that I do is from the heart.
Oh,
And I can
yeah.
prove that because I've done some dumb things in my life. You come from the heart. And, but it's very, very important. But again, before we wrap up the show today, would you be so kind as to do 3 things for me?
Sure.
I know you're going to smile, so that'd be number 4. That's a given. But would you be kind enough to share how people can get in touch with you, if you have a website or if you're on Facebook, and also about your books again, please, ma'am?
Sure. I do have a website that I'm not a techno person, so I'm learning as we go and grow with it. But it's just my name, SusanKDahl.com. So Susan, K-A-Y, my middle name, full middle name, DAHL.com. That's my website. I do have Susan K. Dahl Facebook profile. I'm also starting a group called Parachute Lifters. And there's a story that goes with that, but it's people who uplift. They live to uplift, and that's pretty much me. I'm a supporter of people. I value them, and the book that I wrote first by myself, determined, is called The Sex Talk Made Easy. It's got my website right on there, and it really will help parents. Some really easy, fun ways to go from an awkward situation or topic to an amazing relationship. And then the Shine book is Dream Big, Fear Less, and Blaze Your Own Trail. And I'm just one of the many authors that put this together. But I'm really proud of the story. That was a life and death situation with my grandson. He's a walking, talking miracle who is
Yeah.
charming.
Well, I'm glad your grandson, is okay now, because that's very,
Yeah.
very important because I know what that's like. I've lost a daughter, and
Oh,
it's a very tragic time in your life because that's a
oh,
time when you feel 100% helpless.
yeah.
And that's when you need people in your life that can help you through during your hour of need. And that's
Yeah.
when you need people don't look at their scant knee, and they look at the fracture in your life.
Mhm.
And that's very important. But
Yeah.
Susan, I want to thank you so much for being here today, sharing your inspiring story, and just being here today, because I know that by having people write
Yeah.
smile with their finger and putting the
Mhm.
pencil and on the head and
Yeah.
all,
Did you do that? Did you do
it's
that?
just, of course.
Awesome.
I'm a good student.
There you go. Most
I'm
people, they say,
gullible.
take your pen and write this down. I say, take their pen and put it in. Yeah.
There you go. But sincerely, our time is almost gone. I want to thank you for a wonderful show today, making this show what it is, the
Yeah,
speakerspathway.com,
Speaker's
messages
Pathway
of
has been
inspiration, hope, and
yeah.
support.
Everybody needs to be in a path like this with the kind of
Yes,
support and encouragement that exactly what you said, the inspiration, encouragement, support. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm all in.
exactly. Get plugged in with people who can help you so you can help others. And
Yeah.
like I tell people, Speakers Pathway really is a home for people on the internet who are in business and things of this nature who haven't
Yeah.
got the level of success that they want. That's what we
Yeah.
provide. And we have a video there. It tells, Don and I pull back the curtain there and just, this is who we are, this is what we do, and that sort of thing. But most importantly, Speakers Pathway, we provided the avenue for many different, over 100 speakers to come here and share their message because it was nothing about what we do. It was just
Yeah.
an opportunity that we had an idea and we said, let's put it in action. And
Yeah.
from the time we had the idea, which was the 18th of March, if memory serves me right, 5 days later,
Wow.
on the 23rd of March, Monday, 5 days later, we kicked off our first show, and we've been going Monday through Friday ever since.
That's so
And
great. That is so great.
within 24 hours, we already had over 60 speakers signed up and says, "Hey, count me in. I want to
Yeah.
be part of that because it's electrifying." Well,
Mhm.
folks, we're about out of time today. Thank you so much for joining. Be sure to go to speakerspathway.com and check out the messages of inspiration, hope, and support. Susan's individual presentation will be there eventually because we're getting them audited as we take time. And so will our first speaker, Jan Stringer, that could not stay with us because she had other
That's all right.
obligations. But I want to thank you for being part of the show and listening to us. Most importantly, if you see a speaker there at speakerspathway.com at the
Yeah.
messages of inspiration, hope, and support, if you see a message there that can bless someone, please
Mhm.
share that
Okay.
YouTube link there with them because you can just right click on the picture. It'll take you to YouTube, copy that link and send it to them. I'm Jim Grant. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place, same stations, I like to say on the radio. But thank you again for tuning in. We, on behalf of Susan, myself, and all the good folks behind the scene at Speakers Pathway Coalition, and all the speakers who've been part of this program, we thank you. We hope you have a wonderful day. Take care of yourself. Don't forget to smile, and don't forget to love yourself. I'm Jim Grant. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. Bye, Susan. Good day.